Hello, students. Today I am going to discuss about the poem Night of the Scorpion, written by Nissim, Ezekiel. First, I'm going to talk about the poet and then read the poem and give you explanation and analysis. Nissim Ezekiel was an Indian Jewish poet. He headed the Department of English at the College, Bombay. He was the recipient of Sahitya Academy Award in 1983 for his poetry collection, Latter-day Sounds. Some of his popular works are 60 Poems, Discovery of India, The Unfinished Man, Hymns in Darkness. Now let's read the poem, and after each stanza, I will give you the explanation. Night of the Scorpion. I remember the night my mother was stung by a scorpion. 10 hours of steady rain had driven him to crawl beneath a sack of rice. The poet recalls an eventful night when his mother was bitten by a scorpion. At that night, it had rained for 10 hours at a stretch. Parting with his passion, or parting with his poison, flash of a diabolic tail in the dark room, he risked the rain again. So after biting his mother, after the stun, he had gone back to the rain again. He had flashed his diabolic tail, diabolic, evil tail in the dark room and had risked the rain again. It had gone out again. The peasants came like swarms of flies and buzzed the name of God 100 times to paralyze the evil one. So it was a village where there were many peasants. So the peasants came like swarms of flies. They started gathering around his mother, like swarms of flies. This is a simile, swarms of flies, like swarms of flies, and buzzed the name of God 100 times. So being flies, this is a representation, indirect representation of the number of people who have gathered around. So they buzzed the name of God. Buzz, this is an onomatopoeia, and they buzzed the name of God 100 times to paralyze the evil one. So they kept taking names of God to paralyze the evil one. The poet has capitalized E and O. So he is giving significance to the evilness, to the wickedness of the scorpion. With candles and with lanterns, throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud gate walls, they searched for him. He was not found. They clicked their tongues with every moment that the scorpion made his poison, moved in mother's blood, they said. So with candles and lanterns, the peasants kept searching for that scorpion because they wanted to kill it. Now they believed that with its every move, the poison kept spreading in his mother's blood. May he sit still, they said. May the sins of your previous birth be burnt away tonight, they said. May your suffering decrease the misfortunes of your next birth, they said. May the sum of all evil balanced in this unreal world against the sum of good become diminished by your pain. May the poison purify your flesh of desire and your spirit of ambition, they said. And they sat around on the floor with my mother in the center, the peace of understanding on each face. So now the poet says that they kept hoping, they kept praying that the scorpion sits still. And they kept wishing, they kept saying incantations, they kept wishing that may the sins of his mother's previous birth uh, become dissolved. She becomes sin free as she was suffering. Her soul was also reaching salvation. This was their belief. May the sum of all evil balanced in this unreal world against the sum of good become diminished by your pain. May the poison purify your flesh of desire. Now, this is also, a superstitious belief which points out the peasants, the villagers, irrational, illogical ideas. They felt that these are all, the suffering, the physical suffering that his mother was enduring was all because of her sins from previous birth. So as she was suffering, may her suffering purifies her flesh of desire. May she gets rid of all her ambitions, of all her desires. More candles, more lanterns, more neighbors, more incense, and the endless rain. So this was a spectacle for all the villagers. This was a sight to behold for all the villagers. Someone's pain, someone's suffering was, a sight. Most of the times it is observed that people are, mute. People are mute. Mute to witness. People mute to witness the sufferings of others. Now, Nissim Ezekiel points out this social issue that instead of helping out someone, sometimes people stand there and watch others' sufferings. So as villagers came, they came with more lanterns, and as more light was there, so more insects were there. My mother twisted through and through, groaning on a mat. My father, skeptic, rationalist, trying every curse and blessing. Powder, mixture, herb, and hybrid. He even poured a little paraffin upon the bitten toe and put a match to it. I watched the flame feeding on my mother. I watched the holy man perform his rites to tame the poison with an incantation. So now, the poet starts talking about his father's rationalistic approach. His father had a rationalistic bent of mind. He was a skeptic, he was a rationalist. He was trying to heal his mother by giving herbs, all sorts of herbs, all sorts of powders and medicines. He even poured a little paraffin. He was trying to heal his mother through natural remedies. This Nissim Ezekiel portrays the rural side of India, and that is why these herbs, the implementation of herbs and hybrids, powders and mixtures, all these have been mentioned. After 20 hours, it lost its sting. So his mother had suffered for 20 hours in pain, and during this pain, she was twisting through and through, and his father was the holy man, was the godly man who was actually trying to heal his mother. My mother only said, "Thank God, the scorpion picked on me and spared my children." At the end, the poet reveals his mother's unconditional love. His mother thanks God that the scorpion had stung her and had spared her children, because for her, for the mother, it would have been a further painful experience to see her children suffering. Now let's go to the themes in the poem. The first and foremost and most prominent theme in this poem is a mother's love and concern. So a mother is prepared to go through all kinds of pain for her children. You see a mother's undying love, undying support, unconditional love, and Nissim Ezekiel has beautifully pointed it out through his memories. Rationality versus irrationality. Now, here is a paradoxical point of view. Paradox means opposite, contrasting. The poet represents a paradoxical point of view which states the superstitious beliefs of the villagers on one hand and his father's rationalistic approaches on the other. Okay? So at one hand, the villagers keep on hoping, keep on telling, keep on saying, they blabber that his mother gets liberated from her sins of past life. On the other hand, his father, the skeptic, the rationalist man, who was trying to find each and every possible ways to heal his mother. And also, an important thing is that students, this is very important, the villagers felt that this poison would purify his mother's flesh and free her from desires which imply a patriarchal mindset. Now, in a patriarchal society, in a patriarchal culture, we see that women should not have desires. Women should not have ambitions. Now, the villagers kept saying that may you get free from your ambitions, free from your fleshly desires, may you get free from materialistic desires, from earthly desires, from fleshly desires. So this represents, this connotes to a patriarchal mindset, which is against women having any sort of desire. Next theme is familial bond. We get to see a father's caregiving attitude. So the father's vigorous attempt at curing his mother, and then we get to see that how a child, how a child was witnessing his mother's pain, and finally we get to see a mother's unconditional love. Next theme, memory. Now, in the first line, in the very first line of the poem, Ezekiel states, I remember. So this recalling is a recollection of past memories, and memories become important in creation of your beliefs, of one's ideals of one's attitudes to perceive the world. So memories are very important source in character development also. Now, Nissim Ezekiel wrote this poem, composed this poem to represent the battle between rationality and irrationality. He criticized. This poem is actually a critique of a society which is biased, which is prejudiced, which believes in superstitions. Now, this poem is actually a question on ritualistic, illogical rituals and superstitious beliefs. Last, as I said, that this poem portrays and depicts rural India. So there was darkness, and there were many lanterns, there were insects, and if there are insects, then there will be diseases, and also there are prejudices. Poetic devices used, similes and metaphors. A simile is an indirect comparison. A metaphor is a direct comparison. Simile, the peasants came like swarms of flies. For a simile, you will get the word like. Okay, it is an indirect comparison. The peasants came like swarms of flies. The poet did not state the peasants were flies. He is indirectly stating the peasants came like swarms of flies. Metaphor, giant scorpion shadows. He did not say that villagers' shadows were like giant scorpions, but he associates them directly with giant scorpions. I hope you all have enjoyed this session. Thank you.